Okay, this is going to be kind of a whirlwind because I'm going to take you through a ton of information. So the good news is it's on a video, so I can email this to you or give it to you and you can go back and watch the parts that pertain to you. But I'm going to try to touch on every subject to make sure everyone gets something out of this. So the first thing we did was the English classroom because I could see Ronnie squirming over there like, how am I ever going to do this? Why can't the kids just take ownership and learn the way they're supposed to learn? And I agree completely, but there are some really cool things that I want to share with you. So the first was this list of things you could do if you chose to make videos. These are some ideas for you. And you can, again, read them at your own pace. When you have the video, you can pause it. I'm not going to read them to you, but here's a slew of ideas that you might find helpful. There were also some ideas on reading. I thought these were really useful. Use videos of yourself reading in class while simultaneously having live discussions. I thought that was super cool. And also there are some grammar, a whole bunch of grammar, a couple of really cool things I want to show you. I stole all of that information from morrisflipsenglish.com. I use the word steal, but I'm really just borrowing it from other teachers who put stuff out there.
Hello, this is Mr. Harold coming to you live from the corner of my dining room, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about the Beowulf paper. Now, we've already written a paper this year, the college application essay, but this is the first literary paper, so the rules are going to be a little bit different and perhaps a little bit more difficult. I just want to walk you through the instructions and walk you through some of the recommended pre-writing that I want you to do. So, first of all, in a traditional class you had to turn in brainstorming, an outline with quotes, a written draft, a typed draft, and a final draft. Now, I think all of those steps are great, but you don't necessarily need to do them for this. All I need is some form of pre-writing, and then your final paper. So, take a look at this first section and see what's exactly needed. We'll go to the middle and take a look at the prompts. Now, you have 3 prompts here, and let me just explain them a little bit. The first one, argue how Beowulf's desire for glory can be perceived as a character's strength.
Okay, so you get the idea on that. The other one I wanted to show you, flippedclass.com. So this is a great website that I found today when doing research for this video. And it's an Excel spreadsheet of all teachers who have made videos and their content areas. And there was one English one that I thought was really interesting. Let's hope I can find it now. It was by Rob Patton. Yes. Here it is. I think this is really cool. He has a ton of videos on here, but there was one that I thought pertained actually to kind of what we were doing today with annotating.
So to get started with your close read, one of you will have to open the document, make a copy, and then share that with your partner. Once you both have the document open, you're ready to start your close read. The first thing that you're going to want to decide as you close read is how the two of you are going to highlight different passages in the text. One person could highlight a part of the text by choosing a highlight color, and then the other person in the group could highlight important passages, even if they overlapped, by perhaps choosing underline or maybe changing the color of the text. The idea is you want to have 2 different ways of highlighting different parts of the text so that we can recognize who did what. This isn't to say that you both have to go through and underline or highlight the exact same parts, but we want to make sure that when your partner highlights a passage that we can see that it's different from your own. Of course, following our close reading procedures, after you read through the first time highlighting passages, you need to come up with a summary or main idea of the article, and you can both work together to develop this. For your second read through the article, now you're going to take a look at the passages that you highlighted. And this is really where this piece becomes collaborative. So for example, the person on this side of the screen highlighted this. Now he has to leave a comment. Now as your partner clicks on that passage, he'll be able to see what you said. Now the collaborative part of this is then you have to respond back to what your partner has said by either giving your opinion about what was said or by adding to that with your own personal thoughts. The idea is simple. You're trying to understand the article, and the best way to do this is basically to have a conversation about it. But since we can't always be sitting next to each other, you're having this conversation by using Google Docs. Once you've made comments on all the passages that you've highlighted, you'll have to get that approved by me, and then if I give you permission, you'll be ready to go on to the last part of this collaborative read, where you have to answer a question that I've posed at the end, and you have to back that up with some evidence from the article that you've been able to find. Fortunately, you'll have a great understanding of the article, and it will make this process very simple.
Okay, I think that's phenomenal. I think you could use that in history, civics, all those other classes where there's reading and annotating involved. I just think that's really cool. The next subject that we see that pertains to us and my daughter, who is supposed to be napping, is not. Okay, social studies. Grades 9 through 12, high school social studies, Tom Driscoll, content-based lectures, U.S. history and psychology. That sounds interesting. Let's go to that. Let's see what this is all about.
Hey everybody, welcome back to 35-week test review for U.S. history. This is part 2. Why is it better than part 1? Because it's part 2, duh. Alright, so just really quickly, test Tuesday, 50 multiple choice, everything up through the 1960s. How much is this going to count? Double test grade, you better study. I'm glad you're watching though, thank you. Alright, so we are licensed to teach in Connecticut. Connecticut's only a couple miles away. What's the purpose of the system of checks and balances? Well, other than just being super cool and getting to say checks and balances.
Okay, so that was a fun idea. She seems cool. I feel like there was one other thing I wanted to show you on history. This was a really awesome. This woman uses Google to do everything, create Google Docs, and then create. I'm not going to play this for you because, like I said, you're going to get this, but this is really, really, really useful. She creates tests and quizzes and writing prompts, and the students all submit them online, and they talk to each other and work together, and it's amazing. All right, what else do I have? Apparently there's a video on civic virtue that some teacher created, which I thought was pretty cool. And he tweets, which is fun too.
Our next section involves civic virtue and the common good. Two terms. We use a lot of paintings to try to illustrate these points.
Okay, I just have to interject here that there are so many teachers who videotape themselves talking, like their picture on screen, and that's great. I mean, if you want to do that, awesome. I can't imagine knowing that my face is going to be viewed every single time I make a video, because half the time I'm in my PJs on my bed making it, but a lot of people do it, so more power to you. Okay.
And for the common good, doing what's best for the community.
Let's see what paintings they like to talk about.
Don't help you at the moment, but
a citizen of Rome who was called upon by his country to help lead his country and be victorious.
All right, so you get the idea there. Let's see what else we have. I've also included some websites that you could assign to your students to practice in class. Here's a really cool one for chemistry. It's Khan Academy. They register. I've created my own classes. I'll just show you my profile. I can look at all of my students. Oh, I'm not logged in as me. That's the problem. I was logged in as a student. So forget that. I will go back to the chemistry thing. Basically, you can go on and make yourself a teacher and add your students, and then you can see how much time they spend practicing and what they get right and what they get wrong, and it's really cool. But here's an example of how they could take a quiz. I have absolutely no idea what this is talking about. I never took chemistry, so I'm just going to throw some numbers in here. It's going to tell me I'm wrong, I'm sure. So then I'll go to check answer. Nope, you're wrong. So then I can get a hint, and then it'll give me the right answer. Oh, I wasn't even looking for numbers. How about that? More hints, and then you can watch a video explaining it if you don't understand. But basically, you have to get 5 in a row to pass this level. So I can go on and see how long my students have spent on a certain skill, and if they've gotten 5 correct in a row. Here's another SAT prep on Khan Academy. You get the idea. They just check their answer and move on. Here's another SAT prep. I just think it's very SBAC-y, it's very useful, and as a teacher, it's really helpful to be able to say, okay, if you finished your work and you're done, go online and practice this. So they always have something to do, and it's always appropriate. Here is another website that I love. It's called Quia.com. It has some cheesy little games. Here's one on the Crucible. It's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? You have to answer your questions to get up to $1 million. The hard part is understanding that teachers made these. So there are some that don't have the right answer once in a while. But as long as you go through, I have no idea. It was 25 years ago when I read the Crucible. But, oh, good guess. So then I move on to the next question. So just make sure you take the quizzes first to make sure that they're appropriate for what you're teaching. But they also have battleship. So basically you go around and try to hit the other guy's ship. And when you do, you get a question. And if you get it right, then you, obviously that was wrong. If you get an orange one, that means it was wrong. And I guess, I don't know, they get hung. Okay, so that means it's right. And then you try to find the other part of the ship. And then you just, oh, I got that one right, and so on. You get the idea. So that's QUIA.com. And the easiest way to find activities is to type in shared search. And then you can literally just type in whatever your cell growth for, so, I don't know. And you get all these different types. The Java games are either matching or flashcards. They're not as much fun. The quizzes are good. Like these teachers actually made this as a quiz. The battleship is what I just showed you. Rags to Riches is like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. There's one called Challenge Board that is a Jeopardy game. So this is like a Jeopardy game. So they have them for all sorts of subjects, and it's super fun. Here is an example of an amoeba. I just Googled amoeba in motion, and I thought if I was teaching biology, I would show how an amoeba moves. And then I also, someone asked me once, how can I get a picture up on my Promethean board? And I thought this would be a really good idea, really good chance to show you a couple ways you could do it. You could literally just Google whatever image you want, right click, copy image, open up your Active Inspire, make sure you have the pointer, and right click and paste it, Control V, whatever. And then, now obviously this didn't work out because of the color, but that's good because I would want my students to come up and label the diagrams. But you could have also done something that the math department uses quite frequently, and it's called the snipping tool. And basically, you can take anything on the internet and take a picture of it, just like this, and then copy it and paste it directly into your flip chart, and it's unchanged. And now I can write all over it because it's in Active Inspire. I can do whatever I want. I get the pen and I circle this and I color this in, and I can do whatever I want. So the snipping tool is huge. What else do I have here? Quizlet. Bill O'Leary turned me on to this last year. Oh, this isn't Quizlet. This is just for Spanish, but I thought it was awesome. But again, the link's in the video, which you'll have, so don't feel like you have to frantically write it down. This is Quizlet. Basically, someone creates flashcards. I never do it. I always rely on other people to do it because who has time for that? But someone obviously does. And you can create, so I have a set for AP Calc, Trig, and my students have to go on and watch the flashcards, and they can do this
10
on
squared
their
x
phone.
dx. 6 squared
And you
x
just hit the
dx.
flashcard and
10
it tells you what the
plus
derivative is. They can do this on their phone so that if they're like sitting on the bus or on their way to a game or something and they, are tweeting anyway or checking Facebook or doing whatever they're doing on their phone, they can just open the Quizlet app and study. And like I bookmarked a physics one, so if you just do flashcards, hopefully you don't get the annoying person talking to you.
Unbalanced force.
So you flip it over and it's the definition, and then balanced force. So again, you can create your own if you want to, and then if you subscribe as a teacher, you can create a test where you can have matching, multiple choice, true, false, however many you want, and it creates the test for you based on all of the flashcards. So that's really cool, and you can just print it out. And finally, I did another Quizlet I tried to get to everybody. And the last one, I hope I got to all the classes, as many as I could. Aquaculture, if you just Google it and come across something like this is where I was going to show you the snipping tool, but I already did it. But I'll show you again for anybody that might have missed it. I would go to New, because I don't care about that one anymore, and I would just snip it, copy it, and go to my Active Inspire flip chart. And you always need the pointer, that always used to confuse me, and paste it right in there. So it's really helpful anytime you have a diagram that you want to show a student. Okay, I thought it was important after talking about Khan Academy to go in and actually show you that I created classes for each of my classes, and I can go on to student progress and I can look at, and you can see my Algebra 1, my second Algebra 1. You can see that they spend a lot of time practicing. And I won't click and tell you which students spend a lot of time, but the dark blue are the students who have mastered, and the red are the students who keep getting them wrong yet don't really keep practicing. So it's just a cool tool. For the last part of my presentation, I'm going to show you how to make a video. First way I'm going to show you is using Active Inspire. So basically you open up a new flip chart. And you go to Tools, More Tools, Screen Recorder, Full Record. I'm not sure how this is going to go with recording. Well, I'm already recording using another program, but we'll see. It's not popping up, so that tells me it's probably not going so well. Oh, there it is. And then you click on the red dot, and you have to save it as a name. I'm going to save it as Flipped Video 2 in this year. And now I can start recording. And at this point you can do anything. You can take your stylus and write notes. You can double click using this and type. I suggest typing everything in ahead of time on the flip chart and then going back and talking over it. A lot of times I will import. So for instance, if I want to record something for AP Calc, like a review video. So sometimes I'll give a review packet and then I'll make a review video. What I'll do is open a worksheet, whatever worksheet it may be, like this one, and I will snip a question, maybe, whatever wants to load. I'll go to my snipping tool, and I'll take this question and I will put it in to my flip chart, and then I will take the stylus and I'll write and explain how to do it. And then you can also, you're doing a full screen record, so if you wanted to minimize your screen and go on to the internet and look something up, like let's say the amoeba video, you can do that because it's just recording whatever's on your screen. So for instance, I could do this and it would record whatever's showing up on my screen. You can also do this on using your smartboard, your Promethean board in your classroom. It doesn't have to be on your computer. Whatever you write on the board itself. So some people prefer to stand upright and write using a bigger pen than the stylus. You can definitely do that as well. The only thing I would suggest with these computers is not using the internal microphone. I would definitely use a USB headset My internal microphone doesn't work at all. I don't know if yours do or not. But if you just plug in a headset into the USB, it automatically saves it, recognizes it as an audio device. So when you're done, you just push stop and it will create. And then you can usually asks you to save it as something else. If I close out, I wonder what will happen. So then if I go into 2014-15, flipped video 2, it's a VLC. So the red ones are the program I use, which is called Camtasia Studio. But this one is a VLC, which is easily uploaded to YouTube. But I'll just show you that when I open it, hopefully it works. Hopefully. And there's the video. And now I can start recording. And so what I suggest, and what I've done, is I've created a YouTube channel. Feel free to go on and take a look. And a lot of students subscribe to me so that as soon as I upload something, they know. But like this is an example of when I did an algebra AP Calc review sheet. I can use my document camera to write, and then sometimes I gotta find one where I use my
the instantaneous
calculator
with respect
but
derivative of velocity.
you get the idea. I could have screenshotted this,
Slope,
snipped it, and put it in, but I
velocity
didn't.
is
This
the
was a
derivative
really
of the
quick
position
video because
function.
someone asked me
So the
to
velocity
explain it right before class. So I just wrote it up real quick with my document camera. Be careful using a document camera with Active Inspire. A lot of times it doesn't recognize it. If you really want to use a document camera and need help doing that, come see me. I can try to help you. Here's a good example of when I used my calculator.
Okay, this video is on how to find the slope of a line between 2 points. All we're doing right now is finding slope. We're not -1,3. That
It's really
-3.
useful to be able to show them exactly how to
bottom of our
type it into a
fraction was
calculator.
4
So
minus
it's a major bonus for me.
1.
And then once you're on YouTube, I shouldn't have logged out of that. You just go to Upload, and then you click this, and then you go into your files, and it's your VLC. I would double click that. I don't want to upload it because I don't want the students to see that I'm talking to you. But that's all you do, and then it publishes and it posts, and your students can see it as long as you make it public. So that's how you make a video on your computer.